And good Monday evening, everyone. Welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Ayesha Wilkinson.
And I'm Rachael Ravner.
And we're here to tell you about what happened around campus today. So, weather was pretty nice overall.
I had a great time walking to class. It was pretty sunny in the morning.
And it was pretty comfortable, not too dry, not too hot. And we warmed up a little bit. We saw a few clouds here and there.
Yeah, it was definitely a really nice day to be out and about, walking around campus.
Yeah, definitely, hang out on Landis, take out your dog and just go do homework outside. That was definitely the day to do it. But you're going to miss it, folks, because soon we're going to see some rain chances later on in the week.
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed out. I heard tomorrow it's not going to be as nice a day. The clouds are going to start rolling in.
Yeah, but later on, after the rain comes in, we're going to see sunshine yet again, like always. So it's not going to be too bad. But the rain's going to come in the afternoon. Then we're going to see some more rain showers due to a frontal system. But later on, we'll see some sunshine. But right now, Colleen is going to tell us more in her overview.
Yes, thank you, Ayesha. We see some dry air out there all across Orlando and Tallahassee. But as we see that moisture out there, going to be slowly coming on in to Florida as the week goes through. But as we see that high pressure system get off the coast of Wilmington, that low pressure system might bring a small cold front to Florida. But now we're going to look at the local temperatures. It is 78 in Tallahassee, 77 in Quincy, 78 in Monticello. All around upper 70s, low 80s temperatures, getting into that summer pattern of showers in the afternoon with warmer temperatures. But it's not as miserable as what summer can get in Florida. But tonight's forecast is 62, a warm night. As the clouds will move in, the radiational cooling will slowly disperse away as the clouds will increase with wind miles, 5 miles per hour from the southeast, which is not that windy, which is pretty nice. The wind chill will be minimized. But tonight, for the sneak peek, we have a warmer night. As the rain chances increase to 60% tomorrow, there will be clear skies. But now we are going to go on over to Rachael and Alicia.
Thank you, Colleen. Great forecast. So Tallahassee's having a jazz festival.
Yeah, it's going to be April 23rd. Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah, so check it out. There's actually going to be dancing. You could sit back, relax, listen to some jazz, or, you could go out and just dance.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a really great time. I think it's going to be outdoors, so make sure you bring blankets, like camp chairs.
Yeah, stuff like that to keep comfortable and cool, But it's going to start at 11 a.m. and it's going to go on until 5 p.m. So you can come and go as you please. It's free.
Yeah, there's also going to be breakfast served from 7 a.m. to 11. There's going to be sausage, eggs, pancakes, and grits, so it's going to be a really great time.
That sounds Southern cooking.
Delicious.
Southern cooking sounds delicious. Grits, eggs, sausage, that sounds like the works to me. So it's all going to be free. There's going to be a fundraiser outside of the festival. You can donate and stuff like that. So just bring the kids. It's for all ages because, music's for everybody. So check it out. It's going to be blues and jazz.
Yeah.
Live music, folks, free in Tallahassee. So it's going to be at the Tallahassee Museum, not too far away. That's near Appalachia Parkway. So, just check that out. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, there's so much to see in Tallahassee.
So much to do.
More than just around FSU.
Right, and our next test, a little preview, we're going to talk about the circus. So stick around for that. But right now we're going to take it to Ulises for a local look at the weather.
All right, thanks, Ayesha. Great events coming here in Tallahassee the next couple of days. But right now, temperatures on the warm side, hovering close to that 80-degree mark, especially towards the west, 81 in Mariana. A little bit cooler towards the coast with 72 and 73 in Carabel. Very gorgeous Monday overall. But the clouds are starting to become more of a factor into our area. Now that dry air is starting to push towards the east. We do see that rain already into Mississippi and Alabama, where chance of severe weather is possible for parts of Huntsville, Birmingham, and even Atlanta for tonight. When it comes to those winds, the winds have spiked out throughout the afternoon, all the way up to 23 miles per hour in Panama City out of the south. So that's really going to help when it comes to the humidity and just starting to destabilize the atmosphere for tomorrow's rain and thunderstorm chances. Now with the orange now fading out towards the east, now way into the Bahamas, the green, which is the moist air in the upper levels of the atmosphere, now in full control over the southeast, and that will be the main trend for the next 48 to 72 hours. with that system meandering over the area for the second half of the work week. When it comes to the temperatures for the next couple of days, temperatures are going to fall into the 60s tonight. So when it comes to those temperatures, thanks to that cloud cover beginning to build in, all those 40s and even 50s we were seeing the last couple of nights will be long gone. For tomorrow, the clouds will be the story, so those temperatures are not going to spike out too much compared to where they were just today, closer to 80 degrees, maybe hovering more into the mid-70s. And just remember to have that umbrella with you if for your late afternoon activities, especially FSU UF baseball here at Dick Hauser Stadium tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So rivalry game in effect. So just that, watch out for any possible rainouts for that game. And by the time we get into Wednesday, temperatures are going to be just about the same thanks to that rain and that stormy weather. For tomorrow, though, if you are going to go to the beach, do it very early in the day before the storms increase, with those winds coming out of the south at 15 to 20 miles per hour. So for experienced boaters, that's more of a risk for you, especially with any possible small craft advisories possible. Choppy waters are possible, especially with those thunderstorms. And the days are getting longer now, getting closer to 13 hours. For tonight, temperatures are going to hover into the low 60s to upper 50s. The clouds are going to be gradually increasing throughout the night, especially with those southeasterly winds at 5 miles per hour. For tomorrow, the rain begins late into the afternoon. That's really one to focus on. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather, and with those winds coming out of the south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, with temperatures hovering close to that 80-degree mark, depending where the sun and the clouds collide. And for the next 7 days, conditions are going to be really on the interesting side, especially for the second half of the work week. You're going to need those umbrellas on and off throughout the afternoons. Temperatures are going to fall into the lower 70s. After morning lows, however, are going to fall into the 50s as we go into the weekend. That's when conditions are really going to begin to improve. And by the time we get to early next week, great and sunny skies. But however, the storm is coming, and just remember the cookie is crumbling as we speak. But now we're going to begin to send it over to Ayesha with a look around the Sunshine State.
So Ulises, let's take a look here at our current conditions around Florida. So 78 in Tallahassee, pretty nice weather overall with that high pressure system dominating in the Atlantic Ocean over there. 80 in Orlando and 81 in Fort Myers. So beautiful conditions overall. Our 24-hour temperature change, not much happening for Tallahassee. You can see 0, but Tampa 2 degrees higher than yesterday, and Jacksonville 6 degrees higher with that high pressure over there. Not too much change until that cold front comes through on Wednesday. We're going to see our rain chances kick in later on, and on Tuesday we're going to see some drizzle late evening, afternoon. Satellite and radar, low-level clouds in Tallahassee, not much going on. Can't see much sea breeze either in central parts of Florida. Just pretty clear skies for them. Current dew point, we're sitting at a comfortable 55 in Tallahassee. Pensacola, not so comfortable for them, 65. So keep an eye on that. And I'm going to explain to you what dew point really is. So right here you can see where we were comfortable, 55 dew point, not too shabby, folks. We were looking pretty good. But later on, you get to the uncomfortable part, and you can see Pensacola sitting there at the 65 range. So sorry, Pensacola, with all that moisture increasing for you, you're going to see the dew point there uncomfortable. Satellite and radar, not much you can see around here. Just some noise, no rain showers. Not much going on. Going into the parts of central Florida, you can see not much happening either with that high pressure system. Not much to see with all the clouds disappearing. Going into Miami and Key West, also high pressure system dominating that area, so you're not going to see much clouds. Later on in the Futurecast, this is how your story is going to play out, folks. So Tuesday, you're going to see a little bit of drizzle in the morning, possibly, and we have 60% rain chances for Tuesday. So what that means for you is bring your umbrella, because you're going to need it. Pack those rain gear and jackets too, so make sure you bring that. Later on Tuesday, you're going to see some more rain chances increase and some low-level clouds. Tonight's forecast, 62 we're calling for in Tallahassee. Later on tomorrow, 78 with all that cloud cover, and you can see a little bit of storms rolling in. Tomorrow night, 62 in Tallahassee as well, 70 in Miami, so not too shabby, folks. But I'm going to walk off here, and we're going to take it to a special story. Me and Rachel are going to talk about the Michael Lowry interview we had this weekend. Right, Rachel?
Right, we are.
And so this weekend we had the AMS banquet, and Michael Lowry came and he showed us some of his skills. He showed us about where he started. He came from Florida State. He graduated from here, and he's got his master's here. So we interviewed him, and you get to see that later on. So actually check out the circus too, because that's happening too in Tallahassee. We teased it for you. We got to tell you about it. It's the last weekend of the circus. Make sure you check it out, folks.
Yeah, the circus is a really awesome time. I went last week, actually. It was really cool.
Yeah, and it's free for students, so there's no excuse for you not to check it out. So check out the circus, but what you really want to do is check out this Michael Lowry interview, because he's one of the best on the Weather Channel. He's a hurricane specialist, and he's one of our famous alumni, and he's really appreciated here. We're glad to have him. We thank him so much for coming to our show, and we had a great time with him overall. He talked at our banquet, and it was pretty great.
Yeah, it was very interesting to listen to him speak.
Yeah, so check this out, folks. Exclusive right now on FSU Weather, Michael Lowry.
So I'm here with Michael Lowry. He's from the Weather Channel. He was here for our North Florida AMS NWA banquet on Saturday. And first off, I just want him to describe his FSU experience.
Oh, wow. It's awesome to be back at Florida State University. This is a place that I still call home to this day. I went to school here. I was here for 7 years. I did my undergraduate degree. I did my master's degree in meteorology as well. And that really the education that I had here in Tallahassee was the backbone for everything that I do now at the Weather Channel and everything that I've really done since. And not just what I did here at the university, but also the experience that I had outside of the university. I was in emergency management, and I worked at the State Emergency Operations Center here, which is down in Southwood area. So Tallahassee to me was a home, and still today my family lives here. My brother lives here, and he recently had his first child at Tallahassee Memorial. So it's always great when I can come back here and see my old stomping grounds.
Absolutely. Now, just describe some of the positions you held before and getting into the Weather Channel.
Well, like I said, I did my formal education here. While I was an undergraduate, I did some research as an undergraduate research assistant. It really taught me the coding and the scripting and the technical skills that I still use in my job today. One of the other things I did while I was here, as I mentioned, sort of alluded to, was my time in emergency management. So I worked with the State Emergency Management Office. I started there, actually volunteered there when I was younger, I think I was a sophomore, maybe a junior in college when I started volunteer work there. And then I met some folks who basically created a position for me there, a full-time type position as a meteorologist in the State Meteorological Support Unit. And this was going into 2004, 2005 hurricane seasons. And those of you who were in Florida, these aren't years that you forget. And we had an incredibly busy, active few hurricane seasons. And I was fortunate to be working in emergency management, to actually sitting down and when we had to make these calls on whether or not we were evacuating millions of people. That's really a local call when you make those evacuation calls. But I'm there working as a liaison between the Weather Service and the Hurricane Center and the local emergency management offices, and coming up basically with what we want to do for these real-time decisions, and sort of seeing where the rubber meets the road was a pretty impactful thing for someone that was just kind of starting off in meteorology. So that's basically what I did when I was here in Tallahassee. And then graduating, once I actually graduated, moving up to DC, and I worked for the Department of Defense up there for a few years. And while I was there, I was sort of a tropical expert for Department of Defense. And I did a lot of storm surge modeling. And storm surge is that ocean water that's pushed to shore by the strong winds of a hurricane. And this was after a lot of the big storm surge events in the mid-2000s, like the Katrinas, even Ike that hit Texas in 2008. And that sort of springboarded me to where I eventually ended up at the National Hurricane Center in their storm surge group. And I did a lot of work with storm surge research and in operations. I did forecasts for several storms: Irene, Isaac, Earl. We had quite a few storms when I was down there. and then also built these new storm surge products, was a technical lead on these new products that are coming out actually for the first time this year and next year.
And now, how did you end up in broadcasting?
Yeah, I ask myself that every day. How did I end up in broadcasting? The Weather Channel reached out to me. It was sort of a cold call from the Weather Channel. I quite honestly, I'd never considered broadcast as a career path for me, but I gained a lot of experience and perspective in doing things that weren't traditional meteorology per se. For example, my time in emergency management. I didn't know the first thing about emergency management when I went into emergency management, but I worked with some of the best emergency managers in the world. Craig Fugate, who's now FEMA director, was my very first boss, and Craig has been a great mentor to me. He taught me a lot about emergency management, and I think I learned from literally the best emergency management in the country. And it sort of felt that way just throughout my career. And so having an opportunity to go into broadcast, and to me, when I was at the Hurricane Center, what I found was the broadcasting is really the bow on the forecast. It's completing that forecast with actually communicating it to viewers in terms that they can understand and that they can make decisions for themselves and their family. And it was a challenge, I thought, to me, because I wasn't somebody who was familiar with broadcasting and actually getting a message out to the viewer. And so it was an opportunity when they came to me about sort of building their tropical program at the Weather Channel. Dr. Rick Knabb, who's the Hurricane Center director, he was actually still at the Weather Channel at the time. And, just talking to him and seeing what he did while he was there sort of convinced me that, you know what, as much as I love working in the Hurricane Center, and I did, it was one of the best jobs in the world, I could be a real asset and a partner to them by being in the media. And so that was a huge selling point for me. And so that's how I ended up where I am today.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Michael.
You got it. Thanks, you.
And we thank Michael Lowry for that great interview and also coming down for the banquet. It was really an honor to have him here. And in Atlanta right now, it is 70 degrees, which is about 8 or 10 degrees colder than much of the rest of this eastern part of the southeast, ahead of a cold front and an associated NCS. The NCS, which is basically an area of convections over Alabama, mainly from central and northern Alabama. That's why it's in the 50s and 60s there. And we also have a little bit of a severe weather threat because in the extreme western parts of the southeast, you can see the color differential. That's about a 40-degree difference between around Amarillo and San Antonio, and that's what's driving the entire severe weather event. But it was cool this morning. 48 degrees, that's about 3 degrees cooler than what would be considered average for this time of year. Other areas like Atlanta were also in the 40s, but downstate it's warmed up quite a bit from where we were during the weekend. Low 70s both in Miami and in Key West. Today's high temps, however, really showed how we warmed up and rebounded thanks to a plentiful amount of sunshine and higher dew point. 81 degrees was a high in Tallahassee, 82 in Orlando, and the warmest areas were across Texas, where some areas approached 90 degrees, especially across the Rio Grande Valley. The visible satellite loop, as we put this into motion, started before sunrise, so at the beginning you don't see much of cloud cover because the sun wasn't up, but there's a plentiful amount of overcast, and that's providing shower and thunderstorm activity, as well as cooler temperatures across the area. Associated with the deeper green colors, that's a lot of moisture above 20 to 40,000 feet, and the overriding drier air has been kicked out, and that's why we had a moderation in dew points of about 30 degrees today. Southeast radar shows where the main line of shower and thunderstorm activity is in the southeast across a slight risk, and that's where we have a line of severe thunderstorms near Jackson, Mississippi, but that will likely weaken before it goes over here. The upper level support isn't as strong. But tonight will be much warmer. We'll only be in the 60s, and tomorrow high temperatures in the 60s and 70s across the southeast. But now we're going to send it back into the desk.
Thank you, Tyler. Me and Colleen right now, we're going to talk about flooding at Miami Beach.
Yes, actually, over the past decade, flooding has been increasing dramatically over the past years. Actually, a study from the University of Miami showed that there has been an average of 0.02 to 0.2 inch increase in the water levels over the past few years, which is crazy because it might not seem like something big now, but over time that could be something huge that could affect businesses around or street levels. It has a lot of effects. But actually, so yeah.
Yes, I mean, when it comes to the ocean rising, I mean, it's really been an interesting thing, especially even on especially when the moon tides, you know, the high tides, especially during September and October, that has been a real issue in Miami Beach and even Fort Lauderdale Beach. So, you know, Ocean Drive, Collins Avenue, you know, they all have been a very big issue there on the beaches there the last couple of years. But especially during September and October, just the high tides have been really intense.
Yes, and this is to blame the regional sea level. But now we're going to go on over to Rachael at the Local 3.
Excellent. It's Casey here. We're going to go ahead and talk about Michael Lowry. He did such a great job over the weekend. Speaking of the North Florida AMS NWA banquet, we're really proud to have him on hand, along with his fiancee, Kate Parker. Just a great banquet overall. Seeing the new officers get inducted as well. The new president, of course, Matt Reagan, he's in the control room right now, and he's team leading the show tonight. Vice President Jake Karstens, Treasurer Andres Rondon. We have Secretary Ayesha Wilkinson, of course, on the show tonight with us. And then we have Signs and Outreach, Nicole Steves. So now as we go ahead and transition to our FSU weather travel update, we do see exactly what's going on across our nation. 43 in Minneapolis. Now a lot warmer here in the southeast. 78 Tallahassee, 85 in San Antonio. This great warm conditions here as we get toward the southern part of the nation. Just go out and enjoy it. I know that's exactly what we were doing on Saturday at that banquet. Again, just great conditions for that. Here across the viewing area, just so happy that the new officers are taking over. We're going to do such a great job in the upcoming year. Now, as we go ahead and broaden things to that satellite and radar, you do see exactly what's going on with this. Now, some rain, showers, thunderstorms moving through parts of Mississippi, Alabama. Also had some severe weather warnings of note in North Texas. There was even a tornado warning for parts of Wise County a little while ago, northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex per se. Right now, there's a tornado warning just to the east here. We'll continue to watch that closely as these storms do track up further on, but that area doesn't indicate that there is a tornado warning in this red polygon here for the next little bit. And this pink area, severe thunderstorm watch in effect for quite a while in toward northeast Texas, also parts of northwest Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi. So something to be very much worth noting, really, in these communities. Now, doing a closer look, I should say, of the weather situation here in toward this region. We are watching very closely these showers, thunderstorms south of Little Rock, north of Shreveport, also the Dallas metro area, just north of Dallas, and I should say, you can really start to see here this really looking impressive on the Doppler radar here, just north of Dallas. So areas like McKinney getting on the axis there as we go to the northeast, seeing some rainfall moving itself in. Here parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, some wintry precipitation earlier in New York State, but that's since moved up. Temperatures warming up and moving out really up toward Maine and now even in toward Canada. So nicer conditions starting to take hold in that region. Now, for your airport delays, Dallas right now looking like maybe a ground stop there with that severe weather in toward that metro area with that red airplane being indicated. 23-minute delay in New York, not too big of a concern. Now, around here, not a problem either. Those airport delays, non-existent. We're watching the situation as we get in toward Tuesday, though, as we see some shower activity developing across our viewing circle. Some of it could become strong. Keep our eyes on that as I leave you with the Futurecast imagery. We'll go ahead and switch things now over to our local forecast with Rachel.
Thanks, Casey. It seems like my dress is kind of not showing up with the thing, but we're going to look at our current conditions right now. We're seeing 78 in Tallahassee. Okay, 78 in Tallahassee. It's been a little cloudy today, and the clouds are going to start to move in. If you look high up at Montgomery, it's a lot cooler, and this is because we have a low pressure system that is starting to move in, and we're going to start to see that the rest of this week. Current winds, it's pretty windy. closer to the coast at Panama City with 20 miles per hour. Tallahassee's at 13 miles per hour. It's moving up from the south. Our local radar, there's not much to look in the area in Tallahassee, but you can see up at top in the corner the storm system that's starting to move in, and we'll start to see that towards later tonight and tomorrow morning and the rest of the week. Futurecast. Right now, that we don't really have that much going on. As we continue into Tuesday morning, you can see the clouds are starting to move in, the storm system. There's a chance for rain late in the afternoon on Tuesday, and it'll start to go away, just like scattered showers the rest of the week continuing. Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, a little bit more coming in. Looking at our day planner, if you're trying to figure out what to wear for your 8 a.m. class tomorrow morning, it's going to be a great morning, 63 degrees. We're going to start to see the clouds moving in. This is because of the low pressure system that we're starting to see. It's going to keep warming up throughout the day. Very nice for lunch. If you're looking for somewhere to eat, definitely choose a place outside. And as we go into the evening, still we're going to keep seeing clouds coming and possible rain showers. So definitely in the morning, you might want a warm light jacket, or tonight, definitely a light jacket as you're going to dinner. Tomorrow morning, definitely bring that rain jacket with you. We're going to see some scattered showers. And tomorrow night, a light jacket for sure, but it should be a pretty mild night. Tonight's forecast, we're going to see 62 in Tallahassee. A pretty warm night because of the clouds that are coming in. Winds not too bad at 5 miles per hour. About like low 60s everywhere across the board. Tomorrow it's going to be 78 in Tallahassee. Rain chances are going to start to increase, so same with the wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour, but still not a great day in the morning. Looking at the week ahead, rain chances definitely will start to increase Tuesday and Wednesday and will continue throughout the week, and the high pressure system will come through and push out all the rain chances, and we'll see a great weekend. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Rachel. Now we're going to talk about how this past winter has been with the weather going on. There's a lot going on this past winter, wasn't there?
Yes, especially in the Northeast. The Northeast was just records broken all around. You know, Buffalo, New York got their latest measurable snowfall in late December.
But now look at the week ahead real quick. There's 60% chance Tuesday, 50% chance Wednesday. Then as the week goes on, we might see sunny skies by Sunday with all in the mid to upper 70s, which is pretty nice temperatures. Nice and warm out. Go outside. The cloud coverage might help a little. But don't forget to like us on Facebook.com/FSU Weather, on Twitter, on all social media, and watch us on live stream Monday through Friday at 6 p.m., replays at 11. Now, thank you for watching the FSU Weather Show, but now,
Yeah, so just remember to have your umbrellas handy. You're going to need them all throughout the next 3 to 4 days. I'm meteorologist Ulises Garcia.
And I'm student meteorologist Colleen Peterson. Have a good night.